What up, everyone? Welcome to the Blue Shrimp Films podcast. Hello. My name is Thomas.
And this is Oak, like a tree, just oak.
Cool. And today we have two very special guests. I'm excited to have both of these people here. Based in Los Angeles, we have filmmaker and young papi himself, Chris Carmona. And all the way from Canada, we have Austin Trochanowski, an aspiring writer who handles the dopest meme page around at Sadie Bros _ shit post. That's right. So we have two really cool people with us today, and we are truly excited to learn about both of them. All right. And this is the theme song. There you go. We have Chris taking hits. We're going to have a good-ass show today. That's right.
I do it hits, y'all. I do it hits. Y'all know this. You know this. Thank you for having me, man. So cool to be here. I love your guys' vibe already. Apologize for the technical difficulties in the beginning, but yeah, man, it's just good to be here. Good to be chatting with y'all.
So to start off, I guess we have two very different people joining us, right? We have someone who has been making films, and you got into music, right? You started releasing albums last year. And we have someone who's just starting out their career. They just recently graduated, but is making an impact on social media with a meme page that we all love and we're all huge fans of, right? First off is Chris Carmona. So Chris, this is how I know of you, bro, and how I've known of you. But a couple years ago, I think it was in 2015, I did research. It was in 2015 when I first heard about you because you were one of the people who were selected to deliver Oscar statues at the Academy Awards. So ever since then, you know, I thought it was interesting because I was a sophomore in college and I was really excited because I was able to see someone, right, a Latino, up on the stage, a young person with, you know, similar backgrounds as me. They're going to be handing out Oscars on a stage. You know, that was pretty cool. And then I went on your Instagram page the other day, or today, and I saw that the caption said, "I had a blast being around other talented filmmakers and having the honors of delivering these iconic statues to Hollywood's biggest and widest." so that's, you know, that's how I first heard about you. Austin, I've been following that meme page for I think it seems like a year, bro, and you're posting almost every day, dude, just meme after meme, and everything is Uncut Gems or Howard Ratner, but it's also just Safdie Brothers content. You have the two posters back there, so you know you're a big fan of these guys, you would admire these guys, you know, and I think that's something that all of us here have in common, right? We all love these guys. We love A24. We love independent films, you know, and that's something that I think is a beautiful thing to have in common. Let's start off. I want to learn about the both of you. We'll start with you, Chris, right? I want to learn about you, bro. Can you tell us where you were born and raised?
Of course, bro. And I think it's pretty crazy that you kept up with that Oscar stuff, like that you knew me from then, because I feel like people know me from like other things that I did like after the fact, but there are those people who like remind me like, yeah, I've been keeping up with you since then. So that's pretty gnarly. But yeah, man, I'm from a place called Southeast LA. It's pretty much really close to LA, like a 20-minute drive on a good day. But it's just like predominantly brown and stuff. And, you know, I'm glad we have Austin here who runs the Safdie shitpost, because like that's what the first time I ever saw a fucking Safdie movie was at my local theater, the Edwards 20 Cinema in Southgate. And they were having like just only late showings of Good Time. And dude, like I feel like that movie, I saw that movie right when I was in post-production for my film Bad Labor.
I want a sweatshirt or hoodie, or white hoodie. Yeah,
dude.
I saw it.
I made a couple of these. Yeah, man, thank you. Yeah, and I was in the middle of it, and I was just, you know, I was in a real like not dark. I was just in a very sad place in my life because we had to reshoot a lot of it too, and I just didn't know what I could do with it. I didn't have like, I felt like I had lost my way while I was making it. So I randomly caught a review of the movie. I went to go see it in South. I remember when I left, at the end of it, I was the only one in the theater, and either I was crying or I just stood to the very end and I couldn't believe. I'm like, did I really just see this like not too far from my fucking house? And I feel like my love for like the Safdies and just like, I felt like what they were doing to show where they're from in such an honest, but not like, ooh, it's got to be like true to life, but just such a cool, unique, fresh, and like almost like heart racing kind of way. I'm like, I want to do that for this area. Like I want to bring that Safdie vibe to Southeast LA. Like, and I've been all about like, I'm all about like visually, like I'm all Safdie. Musically, like I'm super inspired by the Voids, like just crazy shit like that is just so out of left field, but still palatable. Nothing that is like gonna be too off-putting where it's like I don't know what this sounds like, you know, but just a combination of all these like rough and grimy things that really makes things like Good Time or Uncut Gems just really so special because it's a nice I guess somebody coined this term in my group the other day, but refined grime. I like that. I don't know, it just feels like clean. It's just so like, yeah, it's grimy, yeah, but it's still clean in a way, you know, like the way they film it, the fucking coloring, you know, all that shit. And I've just been into that, and I feel like the Safdies really helped me, especially musically. I took my brother to go see it, and he instantly like knew what we had to do for our movie score. And like I will openly say like that, I feel like our movie Bad Labor like was once we saw it, because we had already shot it when we saw Good Time, but post production and like putting it all together like was definitely like a response to Good Time. Like I want this to be West Coast Good Time, like two people in a situation they don't want to be in, fucking fighting to the end of night type of shit. But yeah, that's a little bit of who I am.
Cool. Thank you, Chris.
Of course.
And what about you, Austin? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Austin Truckinoski, born and raised in the Toronto area up in Canada. Recent media production grad of Ryerson University. In a kind of fucked up situation right now because I'm trying to enter a media industry that's not really booming up here. We just went into another lockdown in my area, so it's pretty messed up. But yeah, around this time last year, like about a month ago last year, to pass the time and sort of have a little hobby during this time, I created the Sadie Bros shitpost meme page. And yeah, so for the past year, that's been sort of a pretty consistent creative outlet for me. I've really been enjoying creating content for that, meeting some pretty dope people, including you guys. But yeah, like the Safdie brothers are just, I'm a lifelong lover of movies, but seeing Good Time was like seeing like a Tarantino movie or something like that for the first time. Just, it re-sparks that love for film. Which it was always in me, obviously, but I guess for a few years there, I was sort of just consuming movies and I was looking for like, who's the next director that I'm going to become obsessed with to that level. When I saw Good Time, it snuck up on me. And since then, I've just idolized those guys. I can't wait until they put something else out because somehow they made Good Time, which I thought was the best movie ever. And then they released Gems, which was arguably even better. I can't wait to see where they go, but yeah, those guys they're incredible and really they make me want to make movies.
And I think that's something that's really special, right? Because I remember when I saw it I saw it at the ArcLight in Hollywood, and it's just like an experience that you just don't forget, right? Like sitting in the goddamn theater and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Why am I so goddamn anxious? Like, I want to fucking get the fuck up. Like, but it's so good, I can't move, you know? And then later on, seeing Uncut Gems, and it's all over again. It's fucking again, and it's, I think, even better. You got me? It's just a whole different level, you know? And
yeah,
oh my God, it's so amazing. And that's why, you know, for the past couple of years, it's been these guys who have inspired me too. And I want to make movies just like these guys, right? And again, doing it for the West Coast, right? Chris, I love that you said that, bro, because to try to do that, right, on the other side of the country would be pretty amazing. You know, it'd be really, really cool.
It was just, yeah, man. Like I think fucking Austin like hit the feeling right there. Like it felt like seeing the first like something so new. Like the first time you ever see it. Like what it must have felt like to see Reservoir Dogs like on a late night show, or even fucking Pulp Fiction. You know, like it was like, whoa, this is so special. And I went 8 times. My brother and I went 6. But I just knew, I'm like, I'm gonna keep seeing this movie in theaters because I'm never gonna get this experience again. Like I wish people could understand. Like I was chasing I wanted to live that moment again where I won't spoil it, but when there's like a big reveal that Connie, the character in Good Time, like fucks up, you know, and picks up or takes the wrong thing, you know, so to speak. Like the gas in every screening, whenever that reveal happened, was so fun to be a part of. Cause I'm like, I've already seen this, but this movie is so fucking good. Like seeing it again is still just like, oh my God, you fucking idiot, you know? And like, let's go, let's fucking ride this shit out. I'm with you with OPN score, you know? Oh my God, dude. Yeah, I'm glad I could fucking nerd out with y'all because like that shit was like once in a lifetime, and I'm glad we all get to like talk about it all these years later. I feel like ever since, because once I saw Good Time, I like bombarded the Safdies on Twitter before like they even got like too many followers. So like they replied to me a couple times. That's how I got my signed Good Time poster, my first letter from them, and then I wrote to them again when Gems was happening because I'm like, hey, remember me from the Good Time days? They're like, yeah, we fucking remember you. So they sent me a shirt. They sent me the newspaper. And because Josh like knew how much I loved the fucking score so much, he sent me the Good Time soundtrack on CD, and I gave that shit to my brother because my bro like, this is the soundtrack that fucking inspired you to make our movie score, like, and I didn't pay you for that, so like here it is, like this is all I can give you.
Well, it's good, bro. He's your brother, you know. I hope he did it for free and for love, you know.
Yeah, it was absolutely for love, and we're gonna keep doing more. But yeah, man, like it was cool as fuck. Yeah, I'm really proud of the Howard one because well, not only did they notice and they showed love on Twitter especially too, but I don't know, like there's a picture in that again I privated it, but you'll see it when I unprivate it. I have a picture where I'm like Howie and I'm like posing next to like this wall with all these like logos on it, and I had a dream. That was like my vision board for a little while. I have a chalk wall, and so I drew out the logos. Like I had it on my phone. I drew them to detail every company that I wanted to work for. So of course A24 is on there, Elara is on there. I drew their logo and shit, Apple TV Plus, all this shit, right? And then when they like showed me love that day, like I was like, wow, and I just wrote them on my wall. Like even though it's not like, it's like the idea was like I want to get a deal with, you know, all these companies or whatever. But like, but this is like, this feels just as good, you know, like because it's like I still feel like I got to be a part of like, you know, like all of us, you know, attending those screenings and showing love from the beginning. Like we got to be a part of something that is like now going on to become something so iconic and great. But like, I don't know, it's like I would have shown love to Tarantino like this if I was around back then, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it just feels good to show love to like you were saying, like find those filmmakers that like get you excited and want to make movies again. Like, oh cool, like this is where we can take it this way. And like, it's not, I don't know, like it's not too like try hard, for lack of a better term.
Well, so here's my experience, right? So I went to the Uncut Gems premiere in LA, but I've never been to no premieres, none of that waiting in line shit, because I've never, you know, I'm not really into that kind of stuff, right? But the moment I knew that, okay, Uncut Gems is coming out, it's by the Safdies, I showed up, right? And I showed up with the poster. I said, I'm gonna get this shit signed, right? And I showed up with my friend Gio, and Gio had a camera, and out of nowhere, he disappeared. He disappeared for, I don't know, an hour or so, right? And he comes back out to where I'm at, where all these like autograph hounds are, and he has a ticket to get into the goddamn screening. And I just walked in with him, and that was it, bro. So I remember being there for the premiere and seeing Uncut Gems on you know, at the Dome, and just being like, what the fuck? Like, oh man, and seeing the Safdies right there, seeing the Week, and seeing Julia Fox, seeing just everyone right there, right in front of you, was just like a what the fuck? And it, you know, it wasn't meant to. I wasn't supposed to be there. I'm a random ass dude, you know. Like I got lucky because this guy Gio was roaming around and just trying to bother people. I don't know how the hell he came out with the ticket for me, but he got me that ticket, and I went in, you know, and I wasn't supposed to be there. And just being there that day and seeing the movie that day, like it fueled something in me again, right? That okay, making films is what I really want to do for the rest of my life, right? Seeing the people gasp, right? The same way people gasp at Good Time, right? But seeing the people gasp at the end of Uncut Gems, oh my God, you know, like that's what we need to do as filmmakers. That's what we should, you know, try to accomplish as the future of film, you know?
I don't really remember how I felt after I went to see either Good Time or Uncut Gem, but every time it's done, everyone wears like that, right? But it's like that moment is fucking lovely. Like you're gonna be addicted to it, you know? Like even though it's like watching a movie, but it's like, I don't know, it's a weird random feeling, like how these films give me joy and intense at the same time, and we are somewhat connected with the, you know, it's like, I would say it's a lovely cinematography, sound, and everything, right? Good Time. It's like a good film that me and Thomas, we watched like 1,000 times. We just watch and watch again. And we did like a pilot. I was a DP for him, and we shot, and we're gonna be like, yo, it needs to be like Good Time. It needs to be like running with anamorphic lens. We're gonna do like, you know, independent with that kind of vibe.
Yes,
and
sir.
for sure that we are in love with Sadie Brothers. What do you think about the next Sadie brother, or this guy is gonna be like on top still?
I think it's so crazy because whenever filmmakers hit like, especially when you get one big hit movie, like that's already like tough to follow. But if you already do like two heaters like in a row, I feel like because they're two people, like it could easily be like, all right, we're gonna go for another third one, or at least in this kind of momentum that they've been running, or they can kind of like kick back and do something that isn't what's being expected of them. Because aren't they trying to do a 48 hours uh redo or retelling or their version of it? I forgot. I sent them what prompted them to send me the stuff with the soundtrack was because I found out they were going to remake 48 Hours, and I found that VHS in a thrift store, and I mailed it to them because I already had their address when they mailed me the Good Time poster signed, and so I sent them that. I'm like, here for when you guys make your fucking 48 Hours movie. But I just again, like, I just want them to keep having fun. Like, even their fucking Marcy Me video was sick for Jay-Z. Like, they know what they're doing. Like, and another thing too is I'm kind of happy that I want to like let my love for them just like slowly unravel like naturally. Like, I've been inclined to like want to watch or to like buy their other movies and stuff, and I will get to that. But right now, because I'm just also working on a bunch of stuff too, I want to like, I'm like, I don't have to rush this love. Like, I'll just kind of let it simmer. It's gonna be here for the rest of my life, so I'll get to these things eventually. And it just feels good to be like, I know what I know, I like what I know, and what I already know inspires the fuck out of me. Like, I can just go back to either of those movies and be like, you know what, I got a new idea for something. So I as long as they keep staying true to them and don't try to like ever, which I don't think they will, but just keep reinventing it, making it like more. Because what I feel like separates them the most is how hands-on they are. I feel even down to, there's a video of OPN and Josh like talking about the score, and like Josh would like fucking every now and then go over to the keyboard and fucking play a random thing, and I'm like, see, and it feels that way. It feels that way. That's how involved these guys are, because especially when you come from an indie background where you have to do everything, like when it comes time to doing the big leagues, you're like, okay, like I will give it to the people it belongs to, but again, I'm gonna be fucking right in there because I'm gonna make this shit as 100% me as I can. And I like to take that. I feel like that's what I take away from them as a filmmaker myself, trying to like keep it 100% me, because I feel like that's just gonna further distinct your vision or whatever you're making, to like be like, oh, only this person could have made it. Like, it's too specific.
Austin, I have a question for you, bro. How do you produce so much content on the daily, bro? Like, it's always different things. Like, are you trying to keep up with trends? How are you doing it?
Yeah, like a lot of it, there's a good amount where it's trying to keep up with trends. Like certain meme formats and that become popular on Instagram, and I will hop on that once in a while. There's certain ones that I'm not on board with. Like, there was the Bernie Sanders mittens meme, and
Yeah.
I think I had a good like 25 DMs telling me to make one of those. It's like, no, I don't want to, but
Very
yeah,
different.
once in a while you gotta keep up with what's popular. But yeah, I don't know, the ideas just pop into my head. Like, I wish I had a more interesting way to put this and say I had some process, but like once in a while I'll log into Instagram and I'll see a certain meme, and I guess I've seen the movies so many times that it'll basically trigger me to think about, oh, that reminds me of this piece of dialogue from the movie, and then I come up with the meme, and then I have no there's no resistance for me to not post it. Like, some days I'll be like, all right, I've posted 3 memes already. I got to save some for tomorrow, otherwise I won't have ideas. But the moment I come up with something, I'm throwing it up there. So that's how you end up with like 6 things a day sometimes. But yeah, they just come to me.
I kind of want to know. I kind of want to know the different perspective. Like, we make film, right? But it's like making memes is different. Like, how does it feel to dig deep down with the script, with the story that you watch, and make the meme? Because like, you probably wonder too, like, who the fuck are this guy, right? And like, what do they think, and how and why do they think like that?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I guess it's given me sort of, I kind of keep going back to the movie once in a while just to try and get more material. But every time I go back to the movie, I get a little more out of it, not even just for the purposes of making memes for the page, but like, you just unlock something in that movie every time, like a little look in a character's eyes or something. It's, for a movie that has this reputation as such a kind of anxiety-fueled thrill ride, it's got these really quiet moments, especially for Howard, where you see these faces that he makes, and it's just, you're looking at this guy that is not happy with where he is in life, and it's this really great character study that also functions as a perfect entertaining thriller. But yeah, it's very strange. I thought for a moment I'd maybe ruin the movie for myself by making so much content out of it and making fun of it, but I still love it, so it hasn't changed it in that way. But yeah, by analyzing it, I guess I've grown to appreciate it even more than I did initially.
Chris, from your perspective, you talk about sound a lot. You make music, you make song, right?
Yeah.
How does his film, or how does you get inspired for your music? Does the brothers got into this a little bit?
Yeah, yeah. It was actually through watching my brother that like I definitely felt like I it's not too far from me of a reach to think I could do it myself. But like with Austin too, like it's I feel like making memes to me that is such an art in itself, because like that requires just like a certain amount of of humor where you're not trying to be funny. You're just like it just comes in. You're like you're just naturally like however you are,
Right.
And I think it's just so fucking cool too, because you if I'm not mistaken, you're trying to write as well. You say you graduated.
Yes, yeah. So I do, like, I've been working on a script sort of slowly throughout the year that I've had a couple drafts of. I've done stuff in the past, but yeah, writing is a love of mine for sure.
But I think that's so cool though, because the fact that you make memes, I think is just so gonna play into like just even the way you write, like your style. Like
Right.
we are like a new generation of filmmaker, and like having that like that new nuanced knowledge of like, okay, like think about like all the stills you've used from the movie, right? I feel like this new generation of filmmakers, when we shoot, we're gonna think like, this is actually wouldn't be a bad idea for like a GIF of something like in the back of your mind.
Yeah, definitely. All the time, bro. All the time. You're shooting the scene and you're like, oh, I don't want this shit to be turned into a goddamn meme because that'll suck.
Exactly. And that is so interesting that's like kind of our new like kind of thing that we have to also be mindful for. Like even there was another we were on a shoot, and I like even for things that are bad. I was on a shoot recently, and I had a guy with a briefcase open toward the camera like this, and the idea is that he's mixing a thing in there, but if it's him going like this. Just like I'm like, that looks wrong. I don't want to put you in a bad position. I'm like, turn the fucking briefcase more toward us so they see what's inside. Shit like that. Like we're more mindful of like not only like the words we're using, like the phrasing, but also like the framing too. Like, dude, how many times have I fucking see like, I'm so fucked up, man. Like I'm so sad. Like it's perfect. Like that can be applied to anything. Holy shit, I'm gonna come. All that shit. Like, and even the fact. I feel like the Sappies fucking intentionally, Austin, you might know what the fuck I'm talking about, shrinking his eyes for that moment. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I think they responded to somebody asking about that on Twitter, and they said like, yeah, he's being possessed by the gem essentially, and that's why his eyes are acting that way.
That's so fucking random, but I love it. And my girl noticed that. I didn't fucking notice. I'm like, she's like, his eyes, they shrink down. I'm like, no, I'm like, he's just squinting. But like, I saw it again. I'm like, dude, these guys are fucking wild. So I just think it's so cool what you do, bro. Like, and I can't wait to see what you write, because like that's really gonna influence all your shit.
Thank you.
Really heavily, man. And yeah, stay in touch, dude. Like let's keep up with what each other's doing, man. Like if you ever want to send me a script, like I'm happy to like take a look at it and like just give you thoughts, dude.
Right
but
on.
yeah, man. Like so to answer your question, man. Yeah, music. Like I said, I feel like the Sappies just opened me up to a world where I can just really, like I said, that's kind of what I'm living. Like I'm a creative and everything, but I feel like my main thing in life is just doing exactly what I want to do and making it as me as possible. So that's why, like, I don't know, like I like making music right now, because I just did my first video shoot of the year. I directed a music video. Thank you. Incredible band called Club Oro, like gold in Spanish. Club Oro, O-R-O. And their song Fudge is going to come out soon. I did a video for that. Super badass. We built a set for it. But that being said, I haven't done much directing since I put out the digital series I did with a company called Me Too, entitled Instant Crush, because obviously pandemic shit and whatnot, and I really want to make my second movie next.
Have you written
like no, not yet, but I I already have it outlined. I know what it's about. I know where we're gonna do it. We're most likely gonna do it ourselves and shit. And potentially crowdfunding and stuff. But music was like, it came I was already like doing it in 2019, putting together my first album to be released in 2020. I was like, okay, this is gonna be the year where I do my whole switch up. It's gonna be so badass. Pandemic happens, nobody gives a shit, and so I'm like, all right, let's just drop this thing. I still think it's amazing, but like, let's do it. And what was cool about it was that it was an outlet for me to not only just like get to be creative and like really kind of put out more of myself in audio form and in much cooler ways than I could ever probably do on film at this age. But it's just another expression of me, you know. I think like you referenced, Young Poppy is just it's 8 tracks of just party songs. You know, and this next album I'm doing, I reference the Sadie Brothers, like stuff like that, where like I just want to keep making it as true to my hometown Sella, and then just really that Sadie spirit of just like just being yourself, fucking doing it yourself and doing it excellent. I just feel like always striving for excellence is the goal, you know. So in music and movies, whatever I do next, and with whoever I do it next, so that's why I'm just happy to meet other creatives like y'all, because like who knows, you know, like who knows what collaborations could happen after from now till whenever, you know, like there's people I work with today like I would have never expected to work with, you know. And yeah, it's just cool to have an outlet. Music is just cool, another cool way for me to like be busy without having to like putting anybody in danger, especially during the fucking pandemic. Like this shit we just did was like, it was good because I feel like we were all vaccinated, so we were all chill. But like, you know, it's this shit is this what we're living through is gonna be around for a while. So like, especially for exactly. So for this movie, this next movie I want to do, I really have to think about like how are we gonna do this shit. Like, and movies just got a little harder, sadly, but that's why music's been so good to me these days, because like just being able to like put out even just like music videos, like still feels like putting out little baby movies along with scoring them and singing on them and shit.
I hope like within 10 years or whatever, we catch up again and we talk about the same exact topic. I want to see how you grow from making memes to making films and making music, making film, because these are different fundamental of like creative thought, how you can make something, right? But it's like everyone has their own world, and 2021 bros is different. Like memes, you're probably gonna sell into crypto and NFTs soon. Maybe you can film with your memes or whatever, you know. It's a new thing. Like I want to catch up with you again, like very soon. I don't know. Keep improving.
For sure, of course. I mean, you guys are certified homies now. You have access to me whenever, man. Like this is just cool as fuck to like be able to talk about things we appreciate, you know.
Austin, I do want to talk about your writing, bro. So you're a writer and you want to write and you want to make films, but I think something that I want to also know is have you written a script yet? Have you? I mean, you've written scripts. Are you ready to shoot the one? Are you ready to shoot something? And how inspiring are these guys to you? In your writing.
Yeah, so like I've been like writing little stories and that since I was young, and like making short films with my dad and my brother even as young as like 7 or 8 years old, going out and shooting these little scripts that I'd written, and that sort of continued through high school. And then university, I really started doing like, you know, a lot of the properly formatted screenwriting, short films and that. In my 3rd year, I had written a half-hour short film that we were gonna shoot. Unfortunately, it fell apart due to a bunch of like interpersonal conflict in the group. But yeah, the one that I mentioned earlier that I'm slowly working on right now is an idea I've had for a while now. Heavily influenced by the Safdie brothers, like big time, as well as just a bunch of my other influences, Abel Ferreira, Michael Mann's in there as well. But yeah, basically that was, I'd mentioned I was looking for an internship sometime last year, and I had to shift gears and turn that into a writing assignment. So basically I'd taken this idea and it had to basically be an assignment that was the equivalent of what an internship would be. So to make it sort of bigger, I said to the professor, like, I have this idea for a feature film. What I can do is write it as a series, do a pilot episode, and then do an outline for how the rest of the season would play out. So I do have like a kind of expanded version of it fully written for the first little bit of the story. And right now I'm going back and basically turning it into the feature that I had initially envisioned it to be. But yeah, the motivation right now, like just kind of feeling burnt out with the way this year's going and that, and like work and that. So it's not like a constant thing, but chipping away at it. And but yeah, like as you were asking there, the Safdie brothers are a major influence, like the single biggest influence on this thing, and definitely gave me the sort of motivation to not hold back in my writing, because it's tough. Like sometimes you feel like certain ideas are a little too out there, a little too weird. But this, I was like, if a character is a shitty person, they're gonna say shitty things. Like I'm not holding back with who these people are in the story and that, and their movies were a huge influence on that.
I have a question. Have they ever interacted with your page in any way yet?
Not with the page, no. On Twitter, I've had a couple interactions with them. Like around the time of Good Time, I got my poster back there, and I had it beside a Goodfellas poster at the time. So I had posted a picture and said like Good Time's joining my official like top 10 of all time, and they responded and said we're honored. So like that was pretty cool. The only interaction I've had on the page with anyone from the movies, I've gotten a few of the smaller actors, like Keith Williams Richards follows the page.
Oh, cool.
Wayne Diamond follows it. Wayne Diamond's actually messaged me before to be like, where are the memes about me? And so I did memes for him. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, baby.
And then a good one, which I haven't really talked about on the page, but early in my days of the page, Julia Fox actually blocked it. So I sort of have that as like a badge of honor. But yeah, it was understandable, because like I was trying to grow the page, so I was tagging everyone involved in the movie. And as you guys know from following, I post a lot in a day. So it was probably getting to be like, this page is spamming me. I've had enough. So I was like, one day I went to tag everyone. I'm like, did she delete Instagram? But it was just gone. She blocked me. So yeah, that was probably the biggest interaction for the page from.
She knows who you are.
Yeah. Chris, I want to know about Bad Labor, bro. I want to know about the making of that film and independent, right? How many people were on the crew for that?
Just 3 people, maybe 4 some days, but just 3 overall. Like that's look. So when we were making that movie, it was 3 and 4 people, but like we knew, like okay, because it was inspired by Robert's movie, right? El Mariachi. Like that's reading that book, like it just influenced me. Like I can do something like this, like now, like easy, like fucking, like no problem. I can make a fucking action thriller, like and even have crazier stunts in this one, crazier stunts, set piece. But yeah, man, that movie just came together because it was 3 people, me, Tony, my DP, and Jose, who ran sound, also like slash like was our producer, you know, like he helped us with a couple things, and he would alternate with the person I shoot with now, Oscar, who's also like a DP friend of mine. But yeah, it was just us 4 essentially. We wanted to make a movie, and we knew the headline had to be, because El Mariachi, $7,000, so Bad Labor, $700 movie made by 3 19-year-olds, because that's what we were. We were all just fucking like 19-year-olds, and so we're like, let's fucking do it. Let's make this movie. And you know, we shot it. Principal photography was like 8 days. DIT was asked, obviously, because we were doing crazy company moves, and we were having the footage import from what we had just shot on a laptop, you know, in the back of a truck, you know, with unsupervised, so not everything would get uploaded properly. So we lost, I want to say 25% of like what we had initially shot. So that was really heartbreaking. But thankfully, that was just stuff that we shot in the daytime with our Canon. Everything with the Sony A7S, fucking shout out, because I still use that camera to this very day. That camera was perfect because it would, my DP's like, this is not going to give us a problem at all in low light. Like, in fact, like at nighttime shooting, like it looks great. Like you just got to like light it a little bit. It's not going to look like ass. It's not going to be too grainy. So I'm like, let's use that one. And everything we filmed that night, we got to keep. And thankfully, everything we filmed that night was also including that impressive like stunt set piece at the end. So I was like, okay, I have something here. I have something of a movie. I have this final scene. I have the ending essentially. I'm just missing certain pieces from the beginning, the middle, and I just got to reshoot that. So what I did was I cut up a trailer. I sent it to the cast. I was like, guys, check out the first teaser. Like it's gonna look great. And they were like, yeah, man, it looks sick. We can't wait. I'm like, great. Can you come back for like 3 days to reshoot? A pretty significant portion, please. It looks great, right? Like, let's fucking finish this. Like, what the fuck? So that was like month after Principal. We finished that, knocked it out of the park, and the movie came out better because even though it was heartbreaking that you had lost all your like most of your work and shit, thankfully it was scenes that I wasn't even that fucking happy about to begin with. And I thought, how many fucking times have I ever heard filmmakers be like, if I could shoot my first film again, you know, like, this is my opportunity to shoot my fucking first film again. So I went back to those scenes, like, all right, I'm gonna read them again. If I don't like them, maybe I can rewrite them. So I rewrote them, made them a little better, fleshed out the characters some more, added more of like the better lines that are in the movie, better performances and stuff. And it really was just the universe's way of like being like, nah, you fucked up those scenes, try it again, and go back to those spaces, ask them again. And it's those uncomfortable hurdles that really I feel like test your, at least your integrity or your stamina as a filmmaker, because like if I had any lesser spirit or just if I wasn't as determined and if I was harder on myself, I probably would have given up just after like being like, I lost however much amount of footage, because I would have felt like, oh, that, and I did feel that way. I felt like the world was trying to tell me, you're not meant to be a filmmaker. I had gotten scammed out of $3,000 like that had prompted me to want to make this movie. It just felt like so many shitty things were happening to me that was like, no, you can't, you're not going to do it. And a part of me wanted to just sink in and be like, fine, I'm not a filmmaker. But I was like, no, fuck you. I was like, I am a fucking filmmaker. I'm going to finish this shit and I'm going to do it strong. And we did. And Good Time, like I said, was a blessing that came right as we were finishing post-production, because like my brother was like not doing much with the music like before then. Like he was chipping away at it, but he just wasn't inspired. Like there was no bar like that we were meant to follow. Like we were thinking, you know, we were saying like John Carpenter movies and whatnot. We were referencing John Carpenter. We were referencing like, you know, Robert Rodriguez and stuff. Like even I didn't want to be too Quentin, but I'm like, because Quentin doesn't do synth music. I'm like, but just framing wise, Quentin, like musically, I don't know who we're inspired by. Sing that shit. That was really kind of juiced up the energy again to finish that movie. And while I was doing that, I was having meetings with a company called We Are Me Too. They're like a, you know, Latinx media company, and they had been wanting to do something with me. Thankfully, through some connections that I got through doing the Oscar thing, and where they heard about me. And so I said, I'm finishing this movie. If you want to watch it, I can show you a cut, and let's see if we can do something. I sent it to them. We had like a little screening. It was pretty cool. Like seeing your movie or with professionals, you know, just like watching it was just like, it was like so weird and like so like bizarre. But through that, I got to get my show, and because I got to do the show with them, this show called Instant Crush, they were like, you know, like we want to push you, you know, as like, you know, an emerging director. So we're thinking like, what are you gonna do with your movie? I'm like, I'm just gonna put it on YouTube. Like I don't have any plans for it. So they're like, hold on that, and let's see if we can get into this film festival called La LIF, the Los Angeles Latino International Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if you want, like, go ahead. But I wasn't expecting to get in. I get in, I guess. And so then they were like, cool, you're gonna be a part of it. They like, it was like it felt like being like on the cusp of a come up, you know. But then like, you know, as life happens, like it was really good because the premiere happens. There's a restaurant in Hollywood called Loteria. They like rented out the dining room for like an hour just to celebrate, you know, that, oh, we're gonna go see Bad Labor and all that. So it felt really cool to have like some support behind you, you know, and all that. The movie premieres, it was pretty cool. You know, we got some write-ups and shit. And we finished it, but like it's funny because like something happens where like it felt like I was gonna finally get my Robert Rodriguez moment, and then things slow down because then Me Too, like the company like starts like laying people off because they're like out of money and stuff. And this is like right as I just finished shooting my series for them. And so last thing I'll say is like I feel like where it became like, what the hell? Like it's like all my dreams were suddenly like fading away. People stopped caring because, you know, people are losing their jobs. So, like we don't care about your emerging career, your emerging filmmaker. Like I lost my job, so like people are leaving and stuff. And I remember the day that I found out that people were getting fired, I went to the offices. I stole the hard drive because I'm like, look, I only have this movie and this show. Like even if they fucking sue me, I'm gonna cut this shit by myself and I'm gonna drop it on my own. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that, but you know, it just goes to show like kind of like these abruptions have been happening in life. But like it's cool because like for a long time I always felt like Bad Labor was like an incomplete, like kind of like it didn't get to finish its story or whatever. But like I feel like it did. Like that was how it had to end. And you know, if I really got let's say, to emerge, or whatever, get to do the bigger things that I wanted to set up myself to do, I would have never made this fucking music video that I just shot. Would have never gotten to like fly chat with you guys yet, like, cause who knows who the fuck I've been or where the fuck I'd be. And I'm like, there's a reason why life keeps you in certain places at certain moments, because you genuinely aren't ready. Like, even though I felt like I was ready, I always think about how I was 18 years old and I swore like Universal could call me up and be like, yo, direct this movie. And I'd be like, yeah, man, fuck yeah, I could direct that. Like, no problem. Like, I was puking every morning just for this little fucking music video, because it was, I was working with a new DP, someone that I'm familiar with, but I've never worked with in this level before. And it's just like, life happens like that. You just got to be ready for when it comes, and like, just appreciate where you're at in life now. I just feel like that's kind of where I'm living mentally,
Yeah. And,
good.
and it's interesting you say that, Chris, because I think it's true, bro. Like, I could look at myself a couple years ago and I think, oh, I'm ready for this. No, bro, you're not. You need to live life. Like, other things, another thing needs to happen before you can officially say, like, all right, I can go ahead and I can confidently do this. Like, even with me, right? Like, we shot a pilot, we sold it, and now it's getting shot, and they're doing 14 episodes for the damn show, and I thought I'd be the one directing it. No, because I don't have the experience, and I'm producing the goddamn thing. It's still something, but it's like, okay, it's not the time for me, and eventually that time will come.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you'll be more than ready, and it'll feel good, because you'll think like, damn, like, I'm kind of glad I didn't like push it any further, because like, you'll just be a lot happier, like, just being accepting and like taking it gracefully, and not taking it too personally. I'm still working on that.
Yeah. It's we're about to hit the hour, so I guess we need to pretty much wrap it up, but I have a couple just final questions. I just need some quick answers from y'all. All right, just some quick answers. Okay, we'll start off with Austin. All right, what's next for you?
What's next for me? Wow, that's a loaded one. I'd like to finish up the script that I'm working on that I mentioned, try to get something done with that. But other than that, the job hunt continues, trying to find something video editing, media, something that's not a grocery store job that I'm working right now. But yeah, something in the industry. I'd like to start moving forward in that direction.
Chris, what's next for you?
Look out for the Fudge music video by Club Oro. Just directed that. It's going to be coming out next month. Then I'm going to be dropping one single before I drop my second album, Swish 96. And I'm really happy with it, man. Like I said, it's the first one is cool because it was just me learning to make music, and it's 8 tracks of that. But this one, like, okay, I've learned, and now I'm like composing it. Like I know exactly everything that's in it was like I had planned that or I had written it. I'm like, okay, like I'm conducting it now. So that's immediately next. And then after that, you're gonna see my second film. That's gonna be really cool. I might crowdfund for that. We'll see. I don't know. People are telling me I should. I've never tried that. I didn't do it with my first movie because I was like, I don't want to ask them for money. I'll raise it myself. But
well, bro, if you have any questions, we raised 20,000. So if you're interested, hit us up. We'll talk. We raised.
Oh yeah,
for another. Next thing is not Good Time, not Uncut Gems, but what is your favorite film, Austin, and then Chris? One film only.
Other than Good Time and Uncut Gems,
yeah,
I gotta give it to Heat.
Ooh.
Chris.
Punch Drunk Love. Austin, have you ever been to LA yet?
I have not. No.
And you gotta
visit some of the Heat locations, dude. They're just all around. Like I think you'd really get a kick out of that shit.
I'd love to see that. You
gotta come, bro. As soon as that quarantine out there is over, you gotta get your ass out to LA, bro, for sure.
Oh, we gotta link up, fools. We gotta get some drinks, man. Like things are looking like pretty normal. We can keep it chill and distant if we want to, but like it'd be kind of cool to like link up and just fucking talk shop, fucking.
Oh yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. And then last question is, how would you like to be remembered?
Start with who?
Austin. Let's go, Austin.
Wow. As the guy who consistently reminded people what the meaning of the title of Good Time was.
I can back that, dude. I'm gonna tell my kids about you. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to be remembered for not fucking with anybody, just doing like my own thing and doing it as true to myself as I can and loving other people in the process. Cause I think that's really important. Like as corny as fuck as it sounds, like even though I remember when I realized that was like the moral of Interstellar, I'm like, so it's just love is the answer. I'm like, but there is something pretty to that thought. Like it is true, you know, like a lot of the things that we're dealing with that we might get mad at or get too like annoyed with, like under the surface, not talk about it. It's like, you just like let it go and just be like, you know what, all up. Like you're just gonna live a happier life. I want my filmmakers, I want all my fucking creatives to live happy lives, to be happy people. The tortured artist thing, bro, that's so 90s. Let's let that go. Let's be happy. Let's love ourselves and let's make some fucking fire shit, just like the Safdies do.
That's fucking right.
Definitely.
And that'll be a great way to end it. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Austin. I appreciate you both coming on and talking to us today. I'm glad I've officially met you and I've talked to you. Talked to the both of you.
Great theme song.
Thanks, y'all. And that's it.